Resume recording. Recording has begun. And here we are, not far from summit time.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah, baby. I'm loving that. I've been going over so many of the details for the event. And we've got, right now, we've got 20 people are going to be on the cruise. Three people from the hotel staff, the management level of the hotel, they said,
Yeah.
"Can we come on your cruise?" And I said, "Well, I said it costs me to have people on the cruise, so I'll tell you what, just give me a credit toward my account at your hotel, and you can come on the cruise." And they said, "Okay."
Nice.
So that's cool. Yep.
Nice.
And then yesterday morning, I had coffee with the chief of staff from the University of Austin,
Yes.
UATX, the new one, Mike Shires. And he was telling me about all the new things they're doing. And of course, their classes began, the first ever classes at the University of Austin. It began on September 9th, that Monday.
Wow.
And that night he's going to join us. He's one of their professors, but they've got professors from Oxford and the Sorbonne and Harvard and Stanford and SMU. And, they've got business leaders, famous authors, scientists, researchers, philosophers, um, uh, astronomers. I mean, they've got every kind of faculty you can imagine. And the whole
What about
point,
experts?
yeah, exactly. And that's why I was meeting with him yesterday.
I was gonna say, when's your class start? What day? Well,
Uh-huh.
I'll come over.
And it's not unlikely. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, we talked about that, and that's just pretty cool because it's such a unique university, encouraging free thinking, even on what they call their forbidden subjects, which they have a whole curriculum of forbidden subjects that are perfectly okay to talk about. Politics,
Wow.
religion, sexual orientation, whatever you want to talk about. Hi
Hey,
guys,
Brian.
how you doing,
Hey,
Brian?
Ryan again.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys as well.
You know what I got in the mail today?
Don't tell me it's oh, there we go.
CPEs with names on the back.
Woohoo.
With names on the back. Very nice.
And then we've got things like this. So we're ready to rock and roll.
So
There you go.
is mine going to say completed or participated in? There's a big difference as to what that certificate can say.
Let me see what yours says. Acknowledging an unwavering modicum of interest and occasionally attending meetings and being a generally likable guy. We figured why not just give him a darn certificate.
Nice. Perfect. I was hoping that's exactly what it would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
I'm sure mine's gonna be the ultimate wannabe for all things. Just come along for the ride, the wannabe.
Thanks for performing on the riverboat tour.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you, it's going to be cool having Robin there doing music. And I'm going to bring along a couple of microphones and bring my guitar. And I guess I need to bring a couple of microphone stands as well. And then you're going to have what? You're going to have a amp and a mixer and a mic.
Yeah, I've got my little Bose system set that I'll bring, and it's got a 4-channel mixer. So we'll be able to have 2 guitars in there and 2 vocals in there. So you and well, we'll have 4 mics. When you and
So I can bring
When you-
one mic and we're good.
yeah, I have 1 mic that's out. So you'll need to have just 1 mic, and Paula can use mine,
Okay.
and then 2 guitars lined in. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to go. And I've got a guy, his name is Stephen Lopez, and he's a guy I know from church, a military veteran, and he's going to be in charge of food and drink logistics for us for the cruise. So he'll go over to Terry Black's barbecue and get their big Mondo package of meats and sides and all that kind of stuff. And all the various liquids that we're going to consume on board. So that'll be just a hoot.
Cool.
I'm so excited for this. It all just keeps coming together more and more. I've got exercises I've outlined that we're going to be doing in our dialogue, and it'll take us further to clarity on each of our main topics. Something I'd like for you and anyone watching this later to do between now and the meeting is take a look at those five categories being value, message. In other words, your main, here's what I do that's worth paying for. And this is in the program description, by the way. Value, message, brand identity, optimum client. So what am I offering that's worth paying for? How am I positioning it in the mind of the buyer? And who is the buyer? Or should it be optimally? And then business model. Am I working more as a consultant, an advisor? Am I doing gigs as a keynote, or what's my business model? Like with Brian, licensing others as part of the package. And then finally, policies and systems. Policies and systems, one of the things that I continually say is that policies should always be a reflection of your values, what you stand for and care about and aspire to. That's what should drive the policies you develop. And so your system should be chosen to make it easy to follow your policies. And that way your values get expressed and advanced in everything that you do. So all of those areas, some of us don't need 3 or 4 of those. Some of us need all 5. Just make some notes about what do you want or need from this experience and from this group while you're there, and use those 5 categories as your guide for thinking about it. Is that helpful?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Very much for me, under the circumstances with all the changes that are going on in my world,
Yeah.
with got my contract coming today from Cadillacs and Cowboys and Cadillac. Brian, I'm going to be the new director of entertainment to a new high-end music venue in downtown New Braunfels.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'll be.
Braunfels is the home of one of the most famous music venues in all of Texas. The little bedroom community to New Braunfels is called Green, Gruene, Green, and Green Music Hall has hosted all the big names that you've ever heard of.
The oldest honky tonk in Texas.
Yeah.
That's still operating.
And Robin's going to be right down the street from that, just a couple miles away, probably.
Yeah, the downtown area on the big circle there, square, and they have different audience, but I mean, they bring in all the iconic groups like we will be doing as well. We've got 2 stages and 3 rooftop bars, so it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It'll be
That's
pretty.
So I'm
awesome.
excited.
South Texas is also going to be pretty hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mist blowing in the air like
Yes.
in Palm Springs and Phoenix.
And fire pits everywhere in the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
boo-hoo.
thrilled for you getting that. I just think that is so perfect.
Yeah, I'm
It
excited.
really matches your skill set.
Yeah, it does. I've done, been on both sides, but been as the performer side in bands and artists and records and solo stuff, as well as producing television. I mean, with Troubadour, Texas, I interviewed, auditioned really, over 1,000 artists for our 4 seasons. We did 22 artists every season, and we went to Austin, San Antonio, Tyler Longview, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Waco, all in auditioning all these acts. And so having been a buyer, I know what to look for and what's going to be going on. And now with this situation, I'm right in the midst of it. And along with that, Jim, I haven't told you this, I'm going to go ahead and launch Acoustic Performers Academy, and put together a master class on how to manage and build your success as an acoustic performer. We both are members of SAM, right? Solo Acoustic Musicians. There's 20,000 plus in that site right now, in that Facebook group.
No, that
Yes.
gives you a good base to draw from.
Yeah. So I'm going to reach out to
Acoustic
Michael.
Performers Academy, I love it.
Yeah.
And
And
you
so-
teach them the business skills as well as the performing skills and things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. And I'm gonna be teaching from performance side, set list, how to work the crowd, how to get your bookings, how to respond to them, templates of contracts, templates of emails that are gonna go out to them, flyers, how to do their videos. So it's gonna be a whole masterclass on how to do all of that, and then build a Facebook group around it, the Acoustic Performers Club, and have interaction. And then I'll probably be doing some live Facebook lives or webinars and stuff like that. But I'm going to reach out to Michael, who's the manager of owner of the Sam's Club, SAM, Solo Acoustic Musicians, as well as the Backing Tracks group, and introduce myself, let them know what's going on, and see if they will partner with me. Let me come in and or them recommend for them to come to my course. Give them a discount and an affiliate program so they can make money off of it. And boy, if I could just get 1 or 2% of that group to be a part of this could be a real serious moneymaker.
You bet. And
So-
I can see where you'll have people in stage 2, you'll have people lining up to say, hey, can I be an affiliate?
Yeah,
I offer this and this, and like OnSong,
Yeah,
they ought to be
exactly.
an affiliate, and others like them.
yeah.
OnSong.
And I'm going to do a podcast as well, interviewing artists. I did that with Good Life Acoustic, my course that I had earlier. And so I brought in guys that were doing it really well across the country that I had met, and interviewing them and teaching what they were doing. So I'll be doing that as well, and bringing in some.
I've got an affiliate for you, a power affiliate from San Antonio.
Okay.
Now lives
Like
in
that.
Nashville. Steve Krenz, Krenz. Steve Krenz, several years ago, like 10 years ago,
Spell his last name again.
Krenz.
Okay.
Steve Krenz. He has the something guitar gathering. Anyway, he holds 2 events, kind of like this summit in Nashville each year, and he brings in professional, well-known, well-established name musicians with him, and everybody comes in with an instrument, and they spend 3 or 4 days together in workshops learning playing techniques, not singing, but
Yeah.
it's all about the
Playing.
guitar. And how he got started was he was a music teacher in San Antonio. And he's a chubby guy, kind of, round like the Michelin Man, and just a happy soul. And good God, can he play guitar? Anyway, one day I was talking to him. He said, I got to go. He said, my guest for tonight's coming in, James Burton,
Okay.
who happened to play with Elvis, with Ricky Nelson, with, name them
Yeah.
over the years, John Denver. Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve Krenz started out as a guitar teacher in San Antonio. And he put together, with a friend that did training programs, a whole series of DVDs, short lessons, him with a guitar saying, okay, we're going to learn to read the neck. These are called frets. This is da 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 da, and it goes from here to here, not here to here. And he's explaining those things. And then he goes to understanding the basics of music and tabs and things like that. And then he has the people practicing. Well, I bought it. It was called Learn and Master Guitar. Well, guess who else bought it? Gibson Guitars. They said, we love it. We'll take it. and we'll put
Wow.
our name on it. It'll be Gibson Guitars, Learn and Master Guitars with Steve Krenz.
Nice.
And so that was his ticket to stardom because that opened all the doors. And now then it's digital. You know, back then it was on DVD with a workbook. And Steve, when Paula and I went to Nashville for one of my speaking engagements, I guess it was Toastmasters in November or in the fall of 2022. Steve said, "Well, hey, you're going to be in town. Let's get together." He said, "Have you ever been to Gruen Guitars?" Gruen is
I love it.
a guy named Gruen
Iconic.
is yeah, he's kind of like the old hermit that lives in the cave on the top of the mountain, and he's got a scraggly beard, and he only comes out when he feels like it. Well, Gruen owns a place called Gruhn Guitars in Nashville. It used to be downtown on Broadway, and he's since bought a bigger building and moved just to the immediate suburb. And so Steve Krenz takes me in there with the people from my master. Oh, I was there for a mastermind with Connie
Podesta.
Connie Fife. This was 2022. So anyway, I went in there into Gruen Guitars, 3 levels above ground and 1 below ground, and it's filled with the most amazing and wonderful guitars on earth. And you got guys upstairs in the repair division working on the latest guitar that Paul McCartney sent over, or or Tim McGraw's new model that he wants fine-tuned or wants some inlays or something. And so I walk over to the wall of guitars, one of the many, many walls of guitars. And he said, "Yeah, grab that Martin." So I grabbed this Martin and I read the little tag, and it said it belonged to Peter Fonda. You know, yeah,
Easy Rider.
yeah, Easy Rider, Born to Be Wild. That's the guy. It belonged to him. And so I played that a little bit, and then Steve played some. And so then he took me to the Glenn Campbell Museum. And we
Nice.
went through and saw all the things behind the scenes. And Glenn Campbell's my #1 music hero. Then we went to dinner together and just spent some good quality time. And he said, "Anytime you're here, let me know. And if
That's
you're
cool.
here during a guitar gathering, I want you to come present." Well, he would be a perfect companion affiliate for you.
Cool.
And he could even, I mean, he doesn't have to hold these in Nashville.
Yeah.
He could hold one at Cowboys and Cadillacs. As
Yeah.
a kickoff kind of an event.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got lots
That's a
of
great idea.
connections still in San Antonio, and I'd certainly come down and add anything I could.
That'd be a great
So
idea.
That's very exciting.
All
Man,
right.
I love the Acoustic Guitar Academy.
Yeah.
I mean, that gets my juices flowing.
And the flagship product would be the Acoustic Performers Gig Masterclass.
Yeah.
So the focus on Acoustic Performance Academy is dedicated to helping solo acoustic cover artists excel in their local markets. The platform provides comprehensive resources, including the Acoustic Performers Gig Masterclass, to teach musicians how to elevate their performance, market themselves efficiently, and secure more high-paying gigs. There's community and interaction as well through the Acoustic Performers Club on Facebook and the Acoustic Performance Podcast. Robin, the Acoustic Performance Coach, will builds community and offers continuous support and insight to help acoustic performers succeed. Kind of the overview.
And one of the first books you ought to do is one like the one I did for speakers, What to Do When You're the Performer,
The speaker, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've read and you've seen in a solo acoustic musician how many questions those people have and how many people get it wrong. They don't really know.
Yeah.
And then there's some that have attitudes like, "I'm not there for the audience. I'm there for me, man. I'm playing for me. If they don't like it, so be it." I go, "Okay, you got a lot of gigs. I can promise you
Yeah.
that."
Yeah.
And,
you'd say to that guy, "I'm going to give you a nickname. We're going to call you Short Career." No, Brian, let's switch over to you for a minute.
Oh, I'm
that's
good
funny.
listening about Robin.
No,
This
but,
is awesome.
I want to switch the application to your perspective for a moment, because it occurred to me that as you're talking to other people about embracing your model and using your traffic ticket guru approach to building their business, some of them are like the people Robin just described. They're saying, look, I don't, yeah. Hey, I've been a law enforcement officer. I know this stuff. I don't need all that. I just need this and this and this. Right. They think that's all they need. And then they'll get 1/3 of the way into it and say, hey, man, I got a problem. Say, yeah, I've kind of been telling you that.
Yeah.
So can we go back and read the owner's manual?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've watched countless people, like former cops, get into this industry and just fail.
Totally.
Like spectacular failures, you know,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I'd literally sit in court and try and help them. They'd be like, I know what I'm doing. And you're like, nah, dude, I just watched. You have no clue
Yeah.
what you're doing. You don't know how to work a room. You don't know how to, work the crown. You don't know how to talk to the judge.
You don't realize that you're on stage from the moment you get near the courthouse,
Yep.
because everybody
Exactly.
that looks at you is seeing an indication of what kind of person you are.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just telling a woman, I had a call from Abbott Labs about doing some speech coaching for their medical device salespeople. And
Cool.
they're based here in Austin, which is cool, this division. Um, and I said, one time I was in San Diego getting ready to board a plane, and the boarding process was being handled really poorly. And everybody was getting irritated and ticked off. And I was. And I exchanged glances with a guy that was in line next to me. And we kind of rolled our eyes, but didn't say anything. Thank heavens. Because we get on the plane, we fly to Santa Fe, New Mexico. Or no, we fly to Albuquerque and we get off the plane, and both of us walk to the same place on the curb. And I said, where are you headed? He said, Santa Fe. I said, so am I. He said, well, where are you going? I said, Pecos River Conference. Said, so am I. I said, I'm going for the ropes course. And so am I. He and I ended up being roommates.
Oh my goodness.
Roommate.
By
Now
accident
imagine
or
if
you
I had
chose it?
lost my cool at the airport in San Diego and been a jerk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. So, we're always on stage, and every one of those little thin slices is a microbe in the overall impression of who we are and whether we're somebody they ought to cooperate with or resist or punish. Yeah. So I love this because the parallels for what you're doing, Robin, and what all the rest of us are doing as experts is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you could almost just pick up the business model and do a search and replace on the wording and wouldn't have to replace anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be doing that with the speakers too. So I'm bringing back my coaching program for speakers as well. So it's going to be a model. And I've got 2 new websites that I'm building right this minute. So one will be course based with musicians, and one will be my main site, which will have links from that over to the course section, which is it's designed for that, and has all the analytics and all the various course building process and the Stripe and all the things in there that I can sell. But on the personal coaching, which I do mostly with speakers, that's usually just one-on-one with me. But yeah, the model will play overall for both, for just presenters and corporate people.
Yeah. By the way, it's switching lanes here a little bit. When I got this call earlier today, the woman was asking me, she said, I'm forming kind of like a internal Toastmasters group so that I can teach these people the basic skills for presenting that they will need to increase their confidence. And I'm thinking of the reason I reached out to you, Jim, is I'm thinking of having a guest presenter come in virtually for each meeting for a few minutes, and then we do our regular meeting. And so we talked about what she's trying to create. And I've done some things like that in the past, and I've been a part of things like that. And I said, I don't really have a business model for doing small group virtual presentations that would be affordable or reasonable for you. I said, but tell you what I do. I work with people on a 3-month basis. Why don't I work with your team on a 3-month basis? And we'll meet once a week by video. And, you know, that way you've got me for 12 consecutive weeks. And it costs you less than it would cost to hire a temp to come in and do office work. And she said, that's how I'm going to present it to my boss. And
That's good.
I said, excellent. And she said, but we only need you once a month. I said, so the other 3 would be you or your colleagues calling me to talk about the things that you're doing, the decisions you're making related to that one day each month with the group. And she said, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So there you go. And here's what drove that. My decision to regularly say to people, I work with people on a 3-month or an ongoing basis. I can do 1 month, but it's more expensive because I have to do the same amount of prep work for 1 month as I would for 3.
Yeah.
But I don't get the added months. So it costs
Yeah.
almost the same.
Yeah.
So someone says, how do you work with people? Well, I do keynote speeches and seminars, and I've got a fee schedule for that. But I work with people as a mentor on 3-month basis. Well, tell me about that. So it just opens it up for a bigger conversation. And instead of them saying, well, we only want once a month, it's what are we going to do with those other 3 days? And
Train
so
the
I
trainer.
get into talking about what I call upserving, not upselling, because I'm not trying to add anything. I'm looking for additional ways to make it valuable to them. Upserving is increasing their satisfaction. Upselling is increasing your transaction.
Yeah.
And upserving is service oriented, obviously. Where I got the idea was a landscaper that came by. We wanted him to plant a couple of planters on the side of our yard. And he said, well, we don't do anything for less than $2,500. And so Paula and I looked all around the yard and found $2,500 worth of things we wanted done and paid him $2,500. Well, we weren't planning on paying $500. We just wanted a gardener to put some plants in, right? But we're happy.
Yeah.
So no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
So I work
You
with
know,
people on a 3-month basis.
You can also do in that case, sometimes have your group sessions once a month and then have individual, 15-minute sessions with individuals on a one-to-one or with the managers and kind of almost train the trainer, if you will, to train the managers, different things like that. But I know Randy Pennington did a lot of stuff with city groups. And he would go in and talk to the whole staff of everyone. And then all the divisional leaders, he would do one-on-one coaching with them.
Yeah.
And I've done that numerous times as well. And that's actually plays strongly because part of that, when I was doing it for 3 different companies, I was kind of doing an undercover shopping type of deal and coaching with them. I was hearing so many things that they're saying to me privately that they would not say to their leadership, their higher ups. And the point who hired me brought me in to get that kind of insight. So I felt like I'm cheating in a lot of ways by being, sharing the knowledge, but that was why I was going in. And it was able to turn a lot of those companies around in ways that was really positive. A couple of people got let go, others got promotions, and, the teams were built to be better.
You bet.
But so those off dates can be maybe some of that personal coaching time.
And I think it's important, and this is for anyone watching this, to keep in mind that the commodity that is expendable, your perishable commodity, is your time. And so if you're going to do 15-minute sessions, they ought to all be within the same hour of the same day for you,
Yeah.
so that you have 4 15-minute sessions back to back, maybe, or a couple of them plus a chat with the manager. But the key to it is not an extra moment separately being booked that requires you to once again go over your notes, get refreshed, get on camera, make sure you're
Right.
dressed appropriately and all that. I used to tell people when I'm on site for a speech, I'm going to do my speech for the agreed upon fee. If you want me to do a breakout session also, that's only a portion of the fee extra. And they said, well, how about it, you say we get 5 hours in a day, and that was something I came to after many days of trying to do 8 and doing 3 of them well and doing the rest of them poorly.
Yeah.
So I finally just set a standard for myself, and I said it's 5 hours maximum stage time per day.
Yeah.
2 separate presentations max. And they said, well, wait,
Yeah.
but what if, 5 hours, what if we have 5 1-hour presentations? It'd be good, but it won't be me. I won't be there for that. Why? Because in the first hour, I'll do a great job. Second hour, I'll do a really good job. Third hour, I'll be saying, did I just tell you guys a story about, because I did, but it just wasn't that audience, right? So I've been in those situations where they're rotating the audience, speaker stays the same, or the speaker runs down the hallway and does the same thing again. So my standard is 5 hours max stage time per day, 2 presentations total in difference. And it was something I pointed out to them is what I'm charging you for is not the length of the flight, it's the power required for the takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
I burn up most of my fuel, most of my energy, most of my work is done getting up to cruising level. And I can cruise all day long and then bring it in for a landing. But if I got to do 5 takeoffs in one day, they're going to be 2 pretty sloppy takeoffs.
I had a follow-up breakup to my keynotes, but I added one at one time, just Robin Unplugged, that if it was for HR associations across the United States. And then I started going to different states or different companies for their HR meetings. And the Robin Unplugs were one of the most booked ones I did on those second ones, because I did the keynote, and that's good and great, higher, 20, 30,000 foot view, but they wanted just to ask questions. And so I didn't really have to prepare anything. I'm just there to be available to answer their questions. And so that could be something you could add that would maybe give you more, but not drain you as much.
You bet.
You know?
I've done gigs where I did a keynote speech, and then I did a breakout, and then I did a musical performance.
I've done the same. And at that same one that I did, those 3, I ended up subbing for another guy who was not there, and I did his breakout with the Robin Unplugged. So I did keynote, 2 breakouts, and I performed that evening live at their reception.
That's good. Because you think about it, the keynote fee is what justifies showing up.
Yeah.
And then if you do an extra gig while you're there, first off, it saved them the money of no more travel.
Yep.
It doesn't require an extra hotel room. You don't have to take company time to orient the new presenter to the group and the setting and the needs and the sound system and everything else, because Robin's already up to speed on all that. So the amount of drain on the meeting planner is almost zero for the second presentation. And it's very little additional pressure on you. And yet they get every bit as much value from the second presentation as they would have gotten from a totally separate presenter who had flown in at added expense and added time and added
And they know you now because you've been the keynote. So my sessions were full, were packed. Every time I've done any kind of follow-up breakup after a keynote, they're always full. They're always full.
Yeah.
And that's good.
If you do the breakout first, it doesn't help fill up the keynote.
Not at all.
ATD, are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
The Association for Talent Development used to be called ASTD, American Society for Training and Development, and they had Training and Development magazine. I joined them in 1974. I remember my membership number was 031. 031. And so I was evidently pretty early on in their lineup. But I got involved and I decided to go to their annual meeting. And so I went to Chicago to their annual meeting and I wandered around. I was awed by the whole thing. And they have a huge expo, all the training and development learning systems providers. And so I spent a couple of days on the floor at the expo. and I saw a few people I knew. And so the next year I said, hey, could I do a breakout session? They said, sure. So I did a breakout session, and that went well. And people were talking to me on the expo floor. And the next year, and this was when I was partners with Tony Alessandro, I said, how about I do a larger session and my partner does a breakout and we buy a booth in your expo area? And Tony says, well, if we're going to do that, let's bring in a couple of others. So there's Robin and Brian. And so we got Dr. John Lee and Lane Longfellow, another Hall of Fame level guy. And we brought them in to exhibit with us. And it was CALL, Cathcart, Alessandra, Lee, and Longfellow. And we had a
Cool.
booth, and each of us had our material there. And Tony did a session, and I did a session. And then we kept penetrating further into ATD. Now they had tens of thousands of members nationwide and then more worldwide in the International Federation. So we bought the inside front cover of their member directory for a full page ad for us. And then we got the back page of their exhibitors directory or something, some other publication. Anyway, member handbook kind of thing. And wow, I mean, we ended up just getting all kinds of business from the training and development community. And we were known by all the players. Anyone that was a big name, they say, oh, hey, Brian, how's it going? I understand, I've seen you on the stage and I've. So all the walls dropped, and we were considered kind of part of the family for probably 10 years or longer, just because of those few things. But it all started with attending and working the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Brian,
Yes.
how are you spreading your company? How are you building franchises and what you're doing? Are you already doing that right now?
Well, we've got the proof of concept model, right? Like it's doing amazingly well. I've moved to a new city to then prove that you can do it again from scratch, right? Where I know nobody. And we're already making a dent. I'm already getting calls and getting hires. And so, we're just basically going to go, listen, I came in, I did it a second time, right? And so
Wait,
this
did
is
you
how
leave
exactly,
somebody behind doing it where you were?
yes.
Good.
Yeah, I do not screw with the main cash flow. So then I'm doing it here. So then we're going to be able to say, okay, this is exactly what I did to do what this business is already now doing, right? And so I'm just putting together the backbone of that to then be able to go out and say, okay, now we're ready. Right, but we're already making a dent, and we just started the marketing, and I'm already getting hires. I got hires 3 days after we started the marketing. So
Wow.
Outstanding.
Are you looking for one individual in a town to kind of be the hub? Are you looking for multiple people that want to represent multiple clients?
I'm looking for, you only need one person to start. Obviously, you can grow more, but I'm looking for like single location, right? But that obviously you can't tell somebody that they're going to handle LA, for example, right? Because they got 27 different courthouses, right? There's no way one guy can handle that. So it's going to be a little population based, right? As well, where we're going to have to carve out and say, this area is yours, right? But there'll be
Territories.
yeah, exactly.
Could you do a
There'll be
master franchise for LA or for San Antonio or Dallas or some of those that have
Yeah.
bigger? Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly. And so that's what I'm looking at doing. I did a lot, really dug deep this week into getting a lot of the like as you said, that the policies and systems in place. I was really digging into that, just so I can get it down. But like I said, like what we're doing is already working, and it's proven it again, which is awesome.
Good.
And I literally just got a WhatsApp from literally right now, just pinged in if you guys heard it.
I did.
Somebody got a traffic ticket on WhatsApp and they're calling me. They're messaging me right now. So
Well, if you need to go, go ahead. We
no,
understand.
no.
All right,
You,
good.
you guys are actually, I got one traffic ticket last month. I want to solve that. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Very
Outstanding.
cool. Very cool.
I love
Money while you sleep.
I love the
Or money while you
diversity of all these
mastermind.
models, you know? I mean, look at
Sorry,
that. Look at Kira Ron, who's going to be coming to the summit, who's got a videography business. And then you've got Daniel Pope out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and his is all about being your internet marketing expert. And it just such a wonderful mix of differences. And Michael Graham, Michael, though he has a law enforcement background, and also has so many other potential avenues to explore that he could go in any one of them and be fine. He could just do acting alone, or he could do, you name it. But that keeps me sharp, having to see the common threads and, pull it back together and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christina said she really appreciated recently the what one thing exercise, because I gave you a form and I talked through the uses of it. Have you had a chance to play with that, Brian?
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience with it.
Just give me a sec. Let me
Okay.
just let me grab the form. I actually had it
Sure.
all filled out. Just give me a sec.
Okay.
My daughter came into my office and moved stuff.
By the way, I like the looks of your chair.
You like that?
Yeah, that's a nice looking chair.
Yeah, it was like $300 on
Not bad.
yeah. So
That looks
yeah.
like a gamer's chair.
Yeah.
Comfy in all ways.
No, it is comfy. It's got a footrest that kicks out, and oh man, it is
Oh,
Nice.
send me a link if you've got a link on how to get one of those, because I need to get a chair for Paula for her office.
Sure. I will. I'll find what it is, because obviously I did the Canadian version, but I'll find you the link and send it to you, Jim.
Sure. Thank you.
So yeah, no, I got it. Here's my form right
Yep.
here.
There you go.
So no, I worked on it. I loved it. It was it came out surprising to me on a couple different things. Like, it really brought a little more clarity as to where I want to focus, and where I should focus, right? There's two big differences there. But no, it really brought a lot of clarity. One thing that I thought that I was going to want to put a priority on is just not a priority, and it just needs to go to the wayside.
Yeah.
Right. That's a maybe someday.
That was the
type
thing with me. I looked at mine back when, and I could have built a business around doing DISC profiles
Yeah.
because I was an early entrant into that field. But I didn't want to build on that. And Tony Alessandra only wanted to build on that. And he went on and built a multi-million-dollar business around it. And I went to Carefree, Arizona, and ended up creating what became the Acorn Principle, and, had a lot of other things. But I don't think I would have been as happy if I had stayed that path and even if I had become the name. I had done that. It's kind of like I've climbed that mountain. What's bigger?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So no, it was really good. I loved it. I
Good.
think it's an amazing exercise, and one I'd never seen before. Right. So that is definitely a Jim Cathcart exclusive.
That's true. Yeah, I
which,
created that one from scratch. You
Yeah.
saw the raw work on my
Yep.
scribble pad.
Yep.
Yeah, I did so many forms that I put into the Going Pro process. I've got a ring binder here for going pro. And there's our registered trademark. But when I built those pages, a lot of these came from me solving my problem, like urgent problem solving. So if you've got a big problem has to be solved, how do you think about it well? And so I went through this and took a look at what the structure would be for that. And then I looked at ways to be creative and see this list of words. I use those personally, but you can use them in a seminar too, or you can use them with your team. Let's say you got a board of directors or your primary executive team together. And you say, okay, we've got an invasion of salamanders that's ruining everything for our businesses. What do we do about it? And the words are, don't bother taking this down because it's in the downloadables. Combine, separate, increase, decrease, reverse, change, adapt, partial, complete, multiply, divide, add, subtract, change timing, frequency, go private, go public, be more practical, be more emotional, my money, other people's money, don't try, in other words, do nothing, try harder, skip it altogether. It's like Dan Burris, a friend of mine, futurist, he says, take your biggest problem and skip it. Just assume for a minute you didn't even have that problem. Like my biggest problem is finance. Okay, skip it for now. Let's assume that's not your issue. What's next? Yeah, but I've got it. Yeah, I get that. What's next? And it just gives you a different frame of mind. You know, like take any problem, combine, separate, increase, decrease. You say, what if we, we've got this little problem here. What if we doubled our problem? Well, we'd also double our solutions because look at this. And then increase, decrease, reverse. Like we're not making enough sales. Well, how can we get people to come ask us if they can buy? Well, I don't know. Well, let's brainstorm that. So you reverse the sales process. And it's just, cool technique. Anyway, there are lots of those things in here. And I uploaded almost all of them into the files section of our Facebook page.
Yeah, there's a lot in there. A lot of good stuff in there.
Yep. Including sample contracts and templates and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular questions or challenges you want to put out there for everybody to think about?
Go, Brian.
I don't, I don't necessarily know if I've got any particular challenges beyond just, at some point I'd love to be able to find someone who's created from scratch a full franchise model, whose ear I'd like to bend to see whether or not I'm going down the right path or if I'm getting stuck in the weeds, so to speak.
There is a IFA, International Franchise Association,
Yeah.
that you really ought to check out. That may not be their name anymore, but I spoke for them ages ago. And they've got everything from Subway to a situation like yours as members. But they may have some templates or some people or processes or classes or YouTubes or something that's easy to access and and inexpensive that would give you some good fundamental guidance.
Beautiful.
Like how do you get a registered trademark and you go on YouTube and ask that question, do that for franchising. Because as I understand it, you've got a few options possible for you. You could have an affiliate set up. You could have a licensing set up. You could have a full-on franchise set up. You could have, and there are different types of franchises. The franchise would be Traffic Ticket Guru, which they use your name, your logo types, your processes and systems. Another would be a business format franchise. where you sell the format, but they put in their own custom material.
Yeah.
So it's Robin's Ticket Guru service, right? I was on the board of a company that was trying to do for manufactured housing, mobile homes, what Century 21 did for real estate offices back in the 70s. Back in the 1970s, real estate offices were all independent and there was no national network. And Century 21 came along and said, look, this is the way to run a real estate office. This is how you train your people, do your advertising, run your systems, et cetera. And so they signed up people all over North America. And they flew me in to speak in Toledo, Ohio, and Youngstown, and somewhere else in West Virginia. Anyway,
You wear the yellow blazer?
yeah, wearing a gold jacket. And the guy that ran the outfit, the franchise owner for that region, was a guy named Wayne Wiles, Wyles. His other speaker on this circuit with me was a college professor, Stephen Covey. His topic was
Heard of that guy.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The year was 1979.
Wow.
I met him.
I was talking, yeah, he's a good guy. Was a good
Yeah.
guy. I was talking about how to think
Gotcha.
like a professional. And he was talking about 7 habits. And his company still talks about 7 habits. And I,
Yeah.
though I've changed my look,
A little bit.
still talk about being a professional. And
That's it. That's it.
Wow.
Hey, Brian, do you
Yes,
have
sir.
Chat GPT?
I do, yes.
Have you gone on chat and asked it to be a franchise expert and then pick its brain, telling you the different models, different things to do?
Cool.
Never
tell ya.
even thought of that, man.
And let me tell you, it has been a wild win in me using Chat GPT to flush out ideas, brainstorm ideas, get best practices. And what you do in the beginning, you basically tell it who it is. You give it a prompt. I need you to be an expert in all things franchise marketing, that you can help guide someone brand new to be the best practices of what I need to do to succeed as a franchise marketer. Here's my idea. And then you lay it out. Traffic ticket guru, I'm going to be da 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 da. You tell it what it is. And then you say, okay, I want you to, first of all, do you understand what I'm asking you? Don't respond until you say yes or no and you understand. And then it will come back, yes, I understand it, but I have a question about this. So you would, fill it in a little bit more, but it would give you a direction of where you are. Then you say, okay, in a problem solution, a problem agitate solution model, tell me what the problem is with this idea, or however you want to. And when you respond to me, I want you to write in paragraph form with headings and ABC 1, 2, 3. If you need to break it down, whatever you might want it to do, you tell it exactly as they're your assistant. They're really smart, and they're smart in this area where they are, but they work for you. And you tell them exactly how you want to be communicated to. And if they're starting to respond and off track, do not respond to anything beyond the question that I ask you. Be very specific with your answer and stop there. No need to repeat what you've already repeated before, because I know that now. We've already moved on. So you're communicating it like it's a staff member. And dude, I've got tons of content and ideas that have just helped me brainstorm with ideas. Songs, Jim, for the senior living stuff I'm doing. What are the best songs that I should be doing? Just running anything by them. I've got multiple identities of my Chat GPT where you can actually name them now. I've got, people in my speaking world, in my music world, in my with my wife's medical situation, all these type of things that I pick their brain, and I've got experts that are going to tell me the truth. And there'll be some times when they'll mess up. I said, okay, you just contradicted yourself. Are you trying to tell me what I need to hear, what you think I need to hear? Or, what I want to hear or what I need to hear? Do not pacify me. Do not tell me what you think I want to hear.
So you can
tell me
scold
the
it.
truth. Yeah, you scold it, literally.
Oh, be darned.
Literally.
Wow.
And he was, oh, I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. I messed up on that. I please apologize. I will thank it at the end. And it becomes a conversation. I've got
Yeah.
miles of conversation. And it's like I've got a staff team around me and I got 3 people working for me. It's amazing. And Brian, it would be great for you to just learn what you don't know. And here's the other thing you can say, tell me how to prompt you for this need that I have. Here's my need. Here's my situation. I'm running a business. I'm trying to franchise. I need this and this. I need this. How do I give you a prompt where you can help educate me and teach me what I don't know? And it'll come out and it'll give you the prompt. You repeat it back to it and bang, it gives you, and I'm talking literally seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Blows my
crazy.
mind.
That is crazy.
Robin, when we were in Austin for the summit, would you take a sample scenario like that and just with your computer right there in front of God and everybody,
Yeah.
do that, and so that we see how you prompt it and how you correct it? You know, just choose a scenario that you think we could relate to, and it could be anything, doesn't matter. But just so we see how you talk to Chat GPT so that it can talk to you in the way that you're needing.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Super.
It's fascinating. It really is.
And we can plug your computer, your laptop into the big screen TV.
Okay.
So everybody can see the feed. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I love that.
Nice.
Well, guys, that's
Hey,
a
Jim.
wrap for today. Anything you need between now and the meeting, please reach out. And I've still got space. So by all means, if you want to, if you know someone to recommend them. And you've got a question or comment, Robin?
Yeah, can you send us a list of who's all going to be there? I know we've got the phone numbers that we get stuff on, but I don't have most names at all on most of these phone numbers. So I still don't know who's going to be there. Do you have that
Yeah,
you could send out to us?
yeah. I thought I had, but I'm not. I'll send it. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some names at one time, but I don't know if it was people from previous summits. Are they the
Oh,
names
you
that you
mean
included in
contact
those? Are they coming? Are they
email
just part of
list, that kind of
CPEs?
thing? No, I've got, yeah, just for this one, and it's a small group right now. It's
Yeah.
like a dozen people. And so all set. Good.
Okay.
I'll do it.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian,
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Jim.
fill us in on what happens with Chat GPT.
I will. I'm going to be playing here probably in about 3 hours as soon as I free up.
Dynamite.
All right, buddy.
Dynamite. Take care.
Good
guys.
deal.
Awesome, guys. Have a great day.
See you, man.